Final lap. Don't hit a duck. Alright. Got this, got this. Don't hit a pillar. Oh, oh, oh. Yep. Perfection. If you ain't first, you're last. I should probably do something more productive for today. Yep. All right. All right, so this weekend I don't have a vehicle. The Jeep is being looked at. It was running like crap, so I'm stuck at the house. I need to try to do something, and I thought I'd make a video on developing black and white film. There's a lot of videos out there, I guess, how to do it, because that's how I learned how to do it, is watching videos on YouTube of other people doing it. One thing that I learned though by myself before I even got this, for a 35 millimeter film, it is way easier than 120 in my opinion. There's a little trick that I've learned, is that with a roll of film, you know how it advances when you put the film into it, or you advance it manually. So you have some leeway. Luckily enough for my camera, I can leave the lead out. For home developing, it makes it a lot easier instead of me having to open up the cartridge or anything. So I like to pull out the film a little bit, cut off the lead, and then I start it on the reel here, and then I can close everything up, basically just put my hands in there and just crank it away to get the film onto the reel, and then close her up. And then this is obviously light tight, so it ain't gonna ruin your film. So I'm gonna show you right now how I do that. So basically, cut that off right about there. Now that's off. I'm gonna pull this out, and then at least get it onto the rubber part where it grabs. Perfect. So now that I got it started, it's going to make it way easier for me to not have to blindly try to get that into the lead or how to get it into the reel. So all I have to do is put it into the light tight bag and just start reeling it up. Once I'm done, always bring your scissors, or put your scissors inside the bag, cut it off real quick, and then put it into it. Simple, very, very simple. So I'm going to do that. Make a little pyramid so I get space. Put it like that in there. I know what I'm doing there. Scissors on this side, facing away so I don't stab myself. Zip this back up. Close that off. And put my hands in here. That already tipped over. And I'm gonna have to take the watch off. All right, start with this hand. Get this back up. I got space. And feel around, because I don't want to mess this up. There we go. Cool. And that's done. And now we need chemicals. All right, developer, stopper, photo flow, and fixer. All right. So, now the fun part, chemicals. You're gonna have developer. You don't really need stopper. You can just use water, tap water, but you'll definitely need some fixer. And also, this is Kodak Photo Flow. It's something that you just put a drop in at the end of your development, and it keeps away watermarks on your film while it dries. You are dealing with chemicals, so you want to definitely wear eye protection and try avoid it on your skin, especially long term. If it gets on your skin, rinse it off real quick. Yeah. So on this little thing, it will tell you for 35 millimeter, you want 190 milliliters to cover the film. Just round that off to 300. I use this app called Developer. It's a free app. Um, you can make your own chemical mixtures and all that stuff. So I made my own one for T-Max. It gives me a description. So developer, I use 60 milliliters to 240 of water. Stopper, only 15 milliliters at 285 milliliters of water. And then fixer at 75 milliliters to 225 milliliters of water. I like to put my chemicals in my I don't know what the hell these are called. Beacon? Is it a beacon? I don't know. But my container in my thing goes up to 600 milliliters. So I'll put in my developer to 600 milliliters, and then I use this because everything is temperature. You want it at a temperature. I develop at 70 degrees, which I just use a cheap little digital thermometer for like meat or cooking. You could get them on Amazon for like 15 bucks. Super cheap. It's way better than your basic cheap old dial one. So yeah, I'm gonna start this up. So starting with, I start everything left to right. My developer, put it in this dish, and then stopper, and then fixer. And as I go along, that's how I'll be developing it. So I'm gonna start, tells me, yeah, 60 milliliters. This one goes to 25, 50, 75, 100, so 25 increments, excuse me. So in the middle of 50 and 75, I'm gonna put my developer in first. And that looks good. All right, there's the 60. So, and then stopper 15. Like I said, you don't need stopper or anything, but I have it, and there's such a little bit of it that you use for each time you develop. So there's that. I also keep my developers right behind the ones that it goes to. All right, so fixer is at 75. I'm gonna need some more of this pretty soon here. All right. All right. So now with just basic tap water from your sink, I just start filling this up. And then grab my thermometer, and I want it at 70 degrees. Maybe a little bit warmer, but the house is probably at 70 degrees right now, so that is way too hot. That's already at 120. Cool that down. So yeah, I just let it keep flushing until I find that sweet spot. All right, we're just gonna go with the 71. And then with that, it's gonna be 300 milliliters into the beaker. Oh. I hope I have enough. Perfect. 300. Put that right back to the developer. Now, for the fixer or the stopper. Same process for all of them. 70.2. Perfect. This. $300. Perfect. All right. Put that back in front of the stopper. And now for the fixer. All right, 70.7. I'll take it. All right. And up to 300 mil. Perfect. Now we are done with that. So I like to develop in my bathroom, downstairs bathroom. Normally I have a house full of people, so any less distractions on this is best for me. All right. All right. So this might sound really echoey in here. I apologize. So like I said, I use this app, Developer. I set up the recipe for it. I mainly shoot T-Max, so that's what I have right off the bat. It will show you the times and all that stuff. So once you tap it, go back, do T-Max, start timer. I'll back out of this because, yeah. So when you start the timer, it will give you, the developer will be 6 minutes and 30 6 minutes and 30 seconds. The stopper is 15 seconds, and then the fixer at 5 minutes. So with that, it will give you chimes. I strongly suggest you go into your phone and don't let it go to sleep mode or anything. Just because it takes time, and my first time doing it, this is what I mean why I'm saying this, is that it's happened and then I'm in the middle of all that stuff and trying to reopen my phone. It was a pain in the butt. Yeah, just a little heads up. So as soon as you start, you can pour, or I'll start it when I pour my first chemical in, which is developer. And then you close her up and you'll see the process that I do. I'll talk you through it as I go along. So yeah, put that right there. And here we go. Pour this in. That's done. Make sure the cap is on tight and locks in. Start timer. And right off the bat, you want to turn and flip. turn and flip for the first 30 seconds of this process, and then every minute after that, I believe. And with this timer, it will chime it will chime 30 seconds. And give it a tap on the bottom. You want those air bubbles to come up so it's not attached to it. Give it a couple taps on the bottom. So yeah, and then every minute after that, you're gonna have to go through that process again for 15 seconds or so. I do it 7 times, is how I figured that out. And then when you're done with that, I don't shoot film every single day. I have no need to really save my chemicals. Well, I would only be able to save fixer. Developer, you can't save. That goes bad as soon as you use it. And stopper, most likely as well. Well, yeah, you don't want to reuse stopper. That is my ring, and like I said, I just turned it on to so I hear my chimes even though I'm sitting here watching it. So there's that chime. There's a minute in. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and that's 15 seconds. Give it a little tap, sit down, and wait for another minute to go by. Yeah, it is a very simple process. The hardest part of it is getting the film onto the reel, the developing reel. I actually did have some problems putting it on as I was cranking it. The film was flexing in between the holders and then popped out. I would definitely not panic. I have panicked doing that, and that just makes it so much harder to do because you start sweating and all that stuff. It's not fun. So if that does happen to you, strongly suggest don't start panicking. Just take your time. Try to use your fingers and everything else to try to get everything back into place. Just don't panic. So yeah, developer is 6.5 minutes at 70 degrees. I did push this film, but pushing one stop doesn't really mean you have to increase your time. 2 to 3 stops for sure. You're going to have to add time to the developer to let that sit in and really push that film out. Yeah, so I'm not going to add much more time. It's 6 minutes. That's your average exposure time for developing, 6.5 minutes. And, yep, sorry. I might add like 15 more seconds to it. And yeah, I'll probably be speeding up the film now. So the 6.5 minutes are up right about in 3 seconds to 1. Now you might think that with this, it's you are dealing with chemicals. It is safe to pour down your drain. It's not that bad. So with that, I'm going to pour my stopper in real quick. Put the cap back on. Tap. This is only for 15 seconds. I am letting the water run. I have my hot and cold, which I believe is probably way warmer than 70 degrees, but it feels lukewarm. So I'll feel comfortable enough to rinse this off real quick. Like I said, you don't need stopper. You can just use normal water from your tap. So I'll rinse that out real quick. Do one more run of just clean tap water. Get that stopper out. Rinse this off one more time. And then we're on to the fixer. Put this cap back on. I can shut off that water. And then we press start on that. So this says 5 minutes of fixer. You still want to do the rotate and turn. Do it for the first minute. And then just 15 seconds after the first minute. Rinse my hands off. Like I said, you are dealing with chemicals, and I tend to have cuts on my fingers all the time. And like I said, it is safe to pour down your drain. It's not harmful for the sewage to go through the water plant and all that stuff. I have a lot of people walking by my house. So yeah, I'll speed this up, and at the end of this, we'll be back. All right, now the photo flow. Film is completely submerged. Let's take a little dabber and just a little bit. That was a lot, actually. Put that there for now. Put that back. Give it a little. All right. So now that is done. Put that back. Put that back. Now you can pull it out of the reel. Try to find the end here. Perfect. All right. I just use my 2 index fingers or my middle and index fingers. Try to get the excess amount of water off of it so it dries quicker. Do a little balancing act. I put a weighted one. Well, with these hooks, they do have a weighted one so it dries straight. All right, and now we let it dry. Grab all my stuff though. So when I'm scanning my film, I like to use my Kodak film scanner. It's a cheap little unit. It's super simple to use. It's like $100 you can find on Amazon or B&H, and yeah, you put a SD card in the back, you have a camera little logo, you have a little bit of editing, or not editing, but some room where you can click onto it and dim down the backlight and help it out. If it's a little overexposed or underexposed, you can adjust it a little bit. It's got a 12 megapixel JPEG image that you get out of it, which is good enough for most cases. It's definitely good enough for Instagram or Facebook or anything online for your socials. And if there is an image that I really do find that I fall in love with and I want a higher resolution, I would just scan it on my Epson V600 and get a much better image out of that than this thing could ever do. So yeah, I'm gonna start scanning, just going through. It makes life really simple. I can just take the film and just move along, and whichever one looks best, then I'll take that image, and I'm gonna go with this one. And then click that, click the camera button, so I take the picture, and now that's being saved on the SD card. Here's the photo of the swing set. Take that. And the swing's up close. That looks really cool. I like that a lot. And then take that and move that. Look at the grittiness. I like that. That's pretty cool. I must have focused on this. I thought I focused on this one, but clearly I focused on that one, which is just as cool. The bokeh definitely worked out. It's a cool shot. I like that. Really like this. Drop the highlights. Bring up the shadows a bit, and if I can, not too much. Yeah, that's cool. Put a crop on here. And here we go. I think a nice 16 by 9 would look really cool. Something like that. Yeah, that's cool. That is garbage. That is unique. Drop them highlights a lot. I don't know how those shadows are gonna come. Yeah, no. Like I said, it is a JPEG, so there's really not a lot of room. Too much. And then I'm gonna move on while that's doing that thing. Yet again, a simple shot. I'm going to bring the highlights up a bit. Blacken the blacks, or darken the blacks. Really contrasty. Bring up the whites just a little bit. There we go. Yet again, I want to add a little texture and clarity. Just makes the snowflakes pop out a little bit better. This one, add a vignette. Perfect. Do an enhance, because like I said, it's 12 megapixel image, which that will create it to double, so 24. This image is really cool. I do want to drop the whites on this, so it is already dropped a lot. Drop that all the way. And add some contrast, highlights, seeing if we can drop the highlights a bit. There we go. Texture and clarity. This I also want to add a vignette to it. No, not that. There is a dehaze. Perfect. Don't need that anymore. That was getting a little too blown out. I wanted to bring that back a little bit. Yeah. That one was a lot of adjustments, as you can see here. All right. Edit and enhance. So that's the process of developing and scanning film for me. Super simple, super easy. If you like this video, hit that like button. And if you got anything out of this and you learned something, maybe hit that subscribe button. Thank you very much. Bye.